Hey guys, so this week we've been chatting about considerations for program design, and this is designed to be information for athletes who are potentially displaced from their facilities or their coaches, or from time to time like to have a bit of autonomy over their training plan, potentially during gaps in their schedule, or when they have spare time to train. Could also be for weekend warriors, or fitness enthusiasts who like to manage their own training but don't always know necessarily which direction it's going. And so today I want to chat a little bit about volume. And so volume is the amount of work we do in a training session, and so that could be workload could be measured in a strength training session by multiplying your reps times your sets, or another way to think about it is something called tonnage, reps times sets times weight. If we're running, it would be the distance traveled, and when we're talking about jump and plyometric training, it's quite often measured in the number of touches on the ground. And so volume is a very important consideration. There's definitely no perfect way to set up your volume scheme when you're doing a training phase. With our out-of-season athletes at the Duckett Center, we will typically follow a stepwise progression. We'll do a 3, 4, or 5 week cycle. We'll follow a stepwise progression for our working weeks and then deload on the last week. And so, if we're doing a 4-week cycle, week 1 would be light volume, week 2 would be moderate volume, week 3 would be higher volume, and on week 4, we'd pull back. And if everything goes as planned, that's what we would do. If an athlete feels great when they get to week 4, we extend, the deload out another week or two. And if they, become fatigued earlier on in the phase, then maybe we'd pull our deload back or put our deload a little earlier in the phase. And so that's the model we use. It's not perfect. There are many different models out there, and many great coaches who are willing to discuss their models as well. In season, it's much more about managing energy and injury for athletes, and the bulk of the training volume comes from sport-specific training. And so quite often we'll follow a very linear, a low to moderate and volume kind of plan with our athletes in season. And so volume, that doesn't provide a very rigid, strict, or informative structure around what you should do with your volume. It's just very important that you're using some kind of mechanism, whether it's formal or informal, to track your volume, just to know it's a variable, to know it's something you should be managing. And when you're becoming fatigued, losing motivation, or just getting physically tired, that's one thing that you can pull back a little bit to help your kind of, your mind rest a little bit, and your body become physically, regenerated, so you can regain that motivation and get back at your training. So that's it for today, and I'll chat with you guys again tomorrow.